On the last European tour and last American tour, actually, which was before the pandemic, and she reminded me of this great story, which I find very funny, and if you don't, tough luck. But we were rehearsing in my studio, and I had my banjo. This banjo is about 90 years old. It's like a seriously old banjo, and it's the only one I've really ever played. I have a few banjos, but this is really the only banjo I play. And I was saying something to Elana. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. All I know is I just started falling. And so I was kind of like walking, we'll play better there. And then I just started tripping. And before I realized it, I was at this angle with both feet. It's like, oh shit. And so I tried to, like sometimes every once in a while when you trip, you can run out of it. You're like, whoa, hey, say that way, whoa. So I tried to run out of it. So I'm at this angle, now I'm running. And at some point I was like, fuck.
Going down.
This is not
I'm going down. I cannot pull out.
And so I thought I'm gonna fall on this 89-year-old banjo. Fuck that. But I had to hold on to it so I couldn't use my hands. And so what did I do?
I think you just used your head to brace your entire body. You hit into your forehead, and it was carpeted. The whole floor was carpeted, and you were coming straight towards me, and you just skidded along your face.
My head.
On your head.
Towards Elana. I was like, and I just landed with my face in front of her, and she just laughed her ass off. It was fucking hilarious.
I checked that he was okay first. I'm pretty sure I checked before I started laughing. Once I knew he was okay. But he had a big burn on his, like a scab on your head for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I had
quite bad.
Big carpet burn on my face where I was eating complete mad in front of Elana. Anyways, every time she comes out the stage, I get flashbacks and it freaks me out. She's here!
Save the manager, save the manager!
Stay away from her! You had to be there. Now for something a little more depressing. This is a song called Coffee, Methadone, and Cigarettes. And it's a crazy way to start your day, and seriously, and it's a wacky little breakfast. Yes, it's a wacky little breakfast. But it's the breakfast my dad took for the last 20 years of his life. And you're like, why'd you do that? You set me up. It's alright to be really serious and want to cry and then laugh right afterwards. It's all the emotions tonight, folks. Everything loud. And if you don't laugh, you will cry. So you might as well just let it go. Anyway, my dad was heavily in pain for the last 20 years of his life, really, really bad back pain, after being a carpenter for 30, 40 years. And so, chronic pain, and but the pain always starts in different places, sometimes. And in 1958, on January 2nd, 1958, there was a massive bushfire, a really huge bushfire just outside of a small town called Elana in Western Australia. And that's where my grandfather lived with his family, my dad, and a whole community of people, quite like yourself, went out to fight that fire. Because back in those days, the fire department went out, but so did everybody else. And my grandfather worked for the forestry department, and he and three of the men did not return home. They perished in that fire after being out in the bush for 24 hours, left by themselves to fight a fire and fight at the front. And my grandfather left a widow my yaya, Philippa Radomirov, a Greek-Bulgarian woman he met in Alexandria, Egypt, in World War II, during World War II. She could speak 6 languages. I can't speak one properly. 6. And 8 children. 8 children. The youngest was 1, the eldest was 10. And as you can imagine, that left a scar. That left a scar on our family tree. Our family tree will always bear a scar to January 2nd, 1958. And I believe that's where a lot of the pain in my dad's life and my aunts and uncles' lives come from. There's been a lot of turmoil in our family, a lot of mental health stuff, a lot of physical health stuff, and I think there's a lot of the roots, all the tentacles of that pain go back to 1958. And this is a story about a morning that I was with my dad before he passed away. I was at his house. I was about to cook him breakfast. I said, "Dad, I'm cooking some eggs. You want some eggs?" He's like, "No. I'm like, "Okay." So let me get started. And so how my dad got started every day was with methadone, coffee, cigarettes. I was like, holy shit, man, that's breakfast. That's the breakfast of champions, you guys. I've never quite seen a breakfast like that, Dad. And it just struck me, it tattooed itself into my mind, and I left home, I left his house, and I drove down south, very close to Nana. That's where I live now, and this song just fell out, and it's called Coffee, Methadone, and Cigarettes.
See you again, darling, don't see you again.
she wasn't hungry and kids could have the rest. When those kids grew, they learned just what she'd done. She would go hungry for all of them. She'd go hungry for everyone. Now she's gone and it's in the handbasket. See you later, darling, and don't see you. See my man's got a broken heart. Gotta leave out the name, is on the trace back to the start. Now the big old fire came towards an alley.